Hello, my fellow weirdos. It is Saturday. What is it? The 8th. Okay. Here's an update, quick on Snap. Everybody that I talked to personally have gotten Snap. I am in New Jersey, so I was so tired yesterday. Because I was already had my caseworker was on his way from another client because I had told him that I was going to need to go to the bank because while I was I mentioned this in another video, while I was working on the election, my bank called several times. Of course, I couldn't answer or deal with it. And then the next day, as you know, I didn't have much of a voice from working 16 hours at the polling place. And the day after, I would make one call and try to get my stuff taken care of because it's the beginning of the month, trying to get my bills paid, that sort of thing, and my voice would go. So I didn't get to deal with it till Thursday. And there's 3 charges they have to, I'm waiting to see, because it hasn't been 24 hours. I was mad. I'm like, but they did put a claim in, but they reversed the charge, but it could take 24 hours. I mean, it wasn't until yesterday afternoon, and we're not even 24 hours, just about 24 hours now. And I haven't checked it since early this morning. But anyway, I was already going to have to do that because instead of waiting, my bank actually is not far, that actually has the ability to with the chip to make a card. So I don't have to wait the 2 or 3 days. Even when they expedite, it still takes 2 days sometimes. So, and I couldn't do that because the Snap wasn't in at the time that I knew of on Friday. It hadn't been in at the time. And so he says, okay, I have this time when I get from this client, it's about 40 minutes from you, so I'll let you know when I'm leaving them, kind of thing. And I'll, when I'm on the way to you, so at least what I had in the bank, I could at least use like $20 just to get some milk and a few things, until the Snap deal. But I've been hovering, as you know. I can do it because I don't have a job. I don't have kids in the home. A lot of people have these kind of things, and they don't have time to think about, every couple hours, let me check. Well, I do. And that's why I say I hover and I keep checking. So he says, well, I couldn't do that. I said, I know. That's why I do it. So y'all can see, did Judi find anything? Oh, she does have something to say. Why the hell do you think I do it, guys? I don't have to, I do all that information so I have it myself. I don't have to take all the time making this video, going through it, then making sure it's okay. If not, I have to do it again. Because I don't do editing shit. I don't like that beep people. Not right now. At any point, So that's why I do it, guys. It's not because I like to see myself make videos about Snap. If it's just the information that I need, then that's it. I do it for those of you who don't have the time to keep checking shit, or enough time to find out where. Sometimes you have to wade through get hours of crap before you get to do the place that you originally wanted to get to. So I looked it up because I still have been seeing yesterday and last night and this morning that some places are like, not all places have Snap. So I'm like, okay, so I finally had some time to check. And apparently that is true. And what I'm finding, they're saying some states, it's what it first said, following a federal court order to fully fund November Snap. Remember, there was I think it was 20 states. They were all blue states, not one red state joined. But there was I think it was 20 blue states had filed. I think it was one in Pennsylvania. But anyway, that's where that was the first court orders you heard. Now, those people, those states were filing to use that emergency money shit. Well, I guess the way it seems to be looking at, the states maybe that joined that, because they were the first thing to be decided, those states either were able to use those initial ones, those, and maybe they did something and some rearranging on state level to compensate the rest, but I got my full benefits, and everybody that I know of in New Jersey has gotten their full benefits. And all those other states that were involved also probably they got full benefits either because it was a different court. See, that's what that's what was confusing me too, because there was still something in the courts, but they didn't join them together is what it was. So if this one failed for these states, we still would have been on that one. But so I think that's what's happening. They got their portion of that because they filed an actual lawsuit. The first ones, like I said, not one red state that I understand joined that. And it seems when it said Pennsylvania, New Jersey, I was like, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Those were the ones that. Now, I thought New Hampshire and Connecticut and stuff did, but maybe not. Now, some of them, and they mentioned states like Missouri, they're waiting for the federal guidance. States like Massachusetts and Connecticut have that they've said that the recipients will get the full benefits in the next few days. So there probably are from that original case, but they just had to reshift things maybe a little differently or something. Or their system to processing it, is a different way around it. It takes a couple more days, whatever. But I can tell you one thing. I will be calling the governor's office, and because I called for 2 weeks, bitching, get off your effing ass, do something for your people. Don't sit there with your feet up because you're terming out and Cheryl can take over. And I did. I said shit like that to them. So I'm finding out that New Jersey actually was one of the first, if not the first, state maybe to start loading the cards for their residents. So when I get done with this, I am going to make a few calls and definitely thank Murphy, and I'll let them know I was the one that's called over the last 2 weeks, pissed as hell, because he didn't make any kind of statements or that they're looking to try to help them, the state itself, until they didn't tell us anything, and I told her that. So I will be thanking them for, doing something and in a speedy manner. Just, you could have let us know. On that note, I guess each state right now, because the courts are like, F no. No, no, no. You pay it, you pay it, you pay it. It's for an emergency. What the F do you think? You don't deny the first emergency that comes up and say, well, we have to save it for an emergency that affects richer people. Like, like a FEMA thing, or something. But that's what FEMA's supposed to do. It's not my fault you paid it all on everybody's little jet-setting bullshit. All wanting to get in on the ICE thing. But anyway, with that said, I do want to make a couple comments, because some of the things we've all witnessed, a lot of it from TikTok. And the only reason, like I said, I have a TikTok account, but I pop on there every now and then, and I keep it only because, a lot of times if you click on something, they banned me from, I call it Twix, Twitter, X, whatever the fuck, back when Amber Heard and Johnny Depp had their court thing, because I was standing 100% against Amber Heard. And all the Amber Heard stands are also the conservatives, basically. And yes, believe the women and children, but when he's saying one thing and she's saying another, then you may be, and he's saying he was abused, and maybe specialists because as a rape survivor myself, and other many of us during that time would discuss, and we tried to reason with these people. If you don't know anyone, or you yourself have never been sexually assaulted, you really can't tell how it. You can just recite and repeat what others tell you the stats and the facts are. But I think it would make a lot more sense to listen to the people that actually fucking experienced it. Don't you think? I mean, hello, you know? It's the same thing with Snap. The people have been opening their effing mouths about shit. One thing I've heard a lot about. But anyway, that's why I so anytime I click on a link that takes chat, you have to go to, I can't see it if it's posted on, only if it redirects to X, because it won't let me on. I mean, it's banned, suspended, zip, gone, you're never, ever, yeah. I mean, yeah. And seeing where, like, a few years later, it started to, I think it was still Twitter. I'm not sure. Where it wound up, just as well I got out of that hellscape. But TikTok, because of a lot of this, because the only place is either on TikTok, here it's shorts or videos. You can do reels and stuff like through Facebook, but I mean, so TikTok's kind of like the crazy space. It's like the kid version of like Nazi X thing. Noxy, I guess it is. N-A-X-I instead of Nazi, it's Naxi, I guess. I don't know. It's like the kid version, the youth version of that. So I do see these things. Other creators here will play, portions and stuff and comment on them. So that's the only time I'm able to, or if it's, in the thing, it's an article or whatever, and it shows I can I can see it. But I don't, generally cruise around there on a daily basis at all. But I do see things, and that's where a lot of the little critical Karens and critical Kevins seem to have been spewing the most vitriol about, negativity. I don't want to talk about the peanut butter toast lady or that little nurse with her 2 jobs, mocking everybody and using her black dog to even be worse. Well, I hear she said, "Oh, I have 2 jobs." Well, looks like she lost her main job as a nurse. So, yeah, there's that. And others, as we've all heard. One of the 2 things that really pissed me off, really fucking me. One thing was the peanut butter toast lady. And we all know what that was. And she deliberately was making it extra crunchy. And that one guy even said, "Did you toast that dark so it would be extra hard? So you didn't even look like you were enjoying it, really." Because she didn't put that much peanut butter on it. I mean, she wanted that toast hard. So every time she closed her little bitchy mouth, and it would be literally a crunch, crunch, chomp. It was very annoying. And it wasn't even so much the shit she was saying, that was overshadowed by the cruelty of her fucking chomping and her absolute cow chewing cud style. And that is an insult to cows. But no, she didn't trigger me. She was yapping about why don't you just spend all that SNAP money you get and buy all those processed foods. And that's why and then you just sit there, you're fat, eating your cheese and your cracker. And I'm thinking, this is a nurse, this is an RN, and she doesn't know that, number one, it's the processed foods that are the cheapest. It's not the fresh vegetables and the fresh fruit and the things that are made without fillers and bullshit and no nutritional crap just to make it bigger and more volume, just so it fills the rest, everybody in the family up with what was for people, which was intended for nutritional values to feed 2 people. Number 1, the cheapest process, the fake or the half cheese, the fifth, like the Velveeta, that's actually cheaper than the same amount of 100% actual cheese, and not processed cheese product is what it's called. Things like American cheese, like the singles, like the slices that have the plastic between them, besides all the waste of plastic, that shit looks like plastic because it has plastic in it. Oh, I was seeing somebody for a little while. Oh my God. Even when I was like, I insisted, this is actual, buy real cheese, he would come back with those fucking individually wrapped pieces of shit. Twice the price, and fucking, because they were individually wrapped. That's ridiculous. If they weren't individually wrapped, they'd be so fucking cheap. Because it's crap food. So, you buy more crap. You don't buy the fresh fruit and fresh vegetables because, the canned things, you could take things that are little imperfect, can't be sold in stores, and you can just use part of it or something. And so you're still getting stuff. That's why, one of the reasons why canned things are cheaper. Plus, you can, in bulk when they're in season type of thing, and, do more vegetables as in season because they do hold for more than just a couple months. Thus, it's cheaper processed food because processed she thinks it means it's more work. Yeah, it's not the work, it's the price, the cost of the actual ingredients. And if they put a lot of like milk product and shit like this in, they can plump up the serving size, and so so it's cheaper. And that gets onto, I cannot tell you how many times I hear all the time, you hear people complaining about it, and I've heard it myself. Well, if you weren't, like she said, eating all that crap, you wouldn't be so fat. I'm like, or would tell somebody who's got health issues, you wouldn't have health issues if you didn't eat processed crap food. But that's even giving me enough money to buy processed crap food, you still insult us. So you're just resentful. Oh, well, how come you get free food and we don't? Well, honey child, how much was your income in a month? Now, I'm on Social Security, sweetheart. Y'all say minimum wage isn't enough, right, to live? Here in Jersey, it's one of the most expensive states. I mean, other than like Hawaii or something. I mean, it's one of the more expensive states. So the minimum wage is about, I think, 15, something like that. And you all said, but prices are higher too. So we might make, well, you guys make $6 more an hour or something. I was like, well, for a minimum wage, yeah, but our stuff is 6 times more expensive than it is on that side of the line. So, but guess what? You all say minimum wage is, and even minimum wage, full-time minimum wage jobs, you still are eligible for housing voucher to just pay a portion of the rent because you're still making just by like close to poverty level. It's very low income. And so you don't have excess money. Well, why is all those prices? Why is minimum wage so low? And the other thing, I get $1,150 a month. I get SNAP, but that's supposed to pay for fucking everything. My portion of the rent, which is like over $300, it's supposed to pay for internet, heat, cooling. I mean, every fucking thing. Batteries, food. And you know, food is not just a meal. It's all the things that go with it. All the staples. Did you use flour in it? Did you use this in it? Did you use oil? Did you use... Well, those count. Those are getting used. Y'all don't like to consider that, do you? Those little people that are all fucking judgmental. Okay? That crap makes you not as healthy. And then you have to, And the other year, the cost of living went up, I think it was 6.4%. Do you know what the cost of living we got on Social Security? 3.2%. Half. How the fuck do you expect us to even maintain our basic necessities with maybe one cheap-ass $20 fun thing a month? If you keep not raising, you say, well, that's Social Security. Yes, well, back in many decades ago, like in the Reagan era, when they raped and pillaged Social Security, and they said you can't do that because, you know, all that money put together, it's like a group savings account, and the whole point is the more money, the more interest, so we could actually make payments that just by the interest every day type of thing. And that was the whole policy. And they said, oh, we'll get it back to them. We'll get it back fast enough. And decade by fucking decade went by when all those fucking millions that we've all been putting in were like going 500-fold because we joined them together. Which is basically what we were sold as Social Security, which started 2 decades before I was born. So they never got it back. So not only isn't the original money that was there from the start, from the first few decades, but all that money wasn't accruing all that interest every fucking day. That amount of money accrues an enormous amount of interest. And that's what it was figured. So it would account for as things got more expensive over the decades. So because those fucking politicians did it, we, who have been paying into it all our lives, get what we get for the rest of our senior lives, in other words, because they fucking people ahead of us did that. So now we just don't deserve to get any more, to put that back sort of at least over some time so we can start accruing it again and get it going fucking right again. Maybe, perhaps. Or then don't let us have it anymore. And don't take those taxes out for it. You can't have both ways. Government, Republicans, Nazipublicans. You cannot have it both ways. It must be replenished so it can start accruing on its own. You motherfucking bailed Argentina out for 40 motherfucking billion. Why didn't you put 40 billion into Social Security? Let that start accruing a little bit. Stupid fucks. Damn Republicans. And then you have the nerve to sit up there and say, we can't keep doing this, little Johnson, Grinder Johnson. We can't keep doing this all the time. We have to be responsible. Really? Was your little pedo patio responsible? Was Bunker, Ballroom Boy, whatever the fuck else he's planning in there? Pedophile swimming pool, what? Was any of that shit even run past Congress? Shut the fuck up, Nazipublicans. Shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down, and try to cover your head when it all caves in on you. Because the one thing that really pissed me off a few weeks ago, some of these little TikTokers trying to get their fucking, little moments of fame. Like little, what was her name? Tina something. Little Tina who lost her nurse job. Now your little black dog can't buy any more clothes you were so proud of. They were actually saying for a while, for weeks, I'm going to the store and I'm seeing people with candied, and those little cakes and stuff. And I'm like, gee, It's the beginning of October, and suddenly there's more than normal amounts of like candy and carts and those little Debbie things with the fruit pie. Some people give that, or those little pudding cups. Some people give those. Gee, why are there so many of those? Look at those Snap people. She sees them paying with Snap. She's like, oh, the fucking Halloween was coming up, you stupid bitch. And instead of judging that person, why don't you think about she was giving up $20 worth of her food and trying to rebudget that a little bit to hand your little fucking children candy on Halloween. Little judgy Susan. Whatever the hell your names are. Little critical Kevins. Did you sit and consider it's that motherfucking time of year? All year round now. All for the rest of the year now. Because people have treats and things that they do on Thanksgiving for relatives, for little kids. Same thing for Christmas, stocking stuffers. You're going to fucking bitch about that in another 6 weeks? You're going to start whining about they're buying all this candy and all this shit they shouldn't be with food stamps? And by the way, talking about, getting your weaves and no. Don't even tell me, well, some people get cash as well as food, as well as SNAP. Yeah, and there are restrictions on what you're allowed to buy. Even with the cash, you're not allowed to buy alcohol with it. You're not allowed to buy any kind of tobacco with it. So you're not buying your lottery tickets with it. Even though it says cash, food or cash, they mean which account. Is it the food stamp, the SNAP account, that's just food? Or is it the cash, which is the other things that might be like things that aren't necessarily food, but is allowed for, because there's certain, you still don't, are that so under the poverty level, or maybe one of your children or one of your family members have certain needs that, are more expensive. Or, there's a lot of reasons why you get that cash. Okay, it could be maybe you have to put in $200 of your own money into medical things or something for somebody you're a caregiver of. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, and you all, little critical Karens and criticizing Kevins, y'all come on there just bitching about what you're seeing. Did you bother looking up the rules for those things that you're accusing them of? Did you bother looking up if it's even possible for them to pay for their fucking haircut with the cash part? Because it isn't. You stupid freaking dolts. Look that up. DOLTS. In a book called a dictionary. Because if you're stupid enough to make these comments about, oh, you just eat crap. Ah, they had candy. Buying candy with their SNAP. Yeah. For your kids when they come to her door on Halloween. I hope any one of you who have made those videos in the last month or two, I hope you run across this. You should be ashamed of yourselves.